I am sick, but I felt compelled to jump on here anyway and talk about the Hot Toys Artisan line. I have a severe headache and a red runny nose like Rudolph the reindeer, but I and many other collectors have been wronged by the Hot Toys Artisan line, and therefore I must vent. But before we get started, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you're notified when content goes live here. As one of the collectors who has been championing this line since its origin, I'm starting to change my position just a little bit. Maybe my opinion will change yours today. Let's see. Thank you so much for joining me for another video today. The Hot Toys Artisan line needs to be discussed. It emerged sometime around July of 2023 when Hot Toys announced their very first Artisan figure, the Heath Ledger Joker from The Dark Knight. This figure cost $520 before shipping and tax and included Hot Toys' new wool implanted hair, a new technique used to entice Hot Toys collectors to buy something premium and exclusive. The rest of the figure is exactly the same as the standard version, but for $150 more, collectors could get that exclusive wool-rooted hair. Since then, there have been 18 Hot Toys Artisan announcements, 9 of which have been released to the public. And Hot Toys released a banger of a figure with their first Artisan Joker release, which was at the time the best 1/6 scale licensed Heath Ledger Joker figure on the market. However, not all collectors were so lucky. A handful of reports of glue staining the hair, often turning it an orange color, started appearing online. These reports, while concerning, were not the common experience, so we decided to chalk it up to a bad batch of Jokers with some obvious QC problems. But then, these issues started appearing on the newly released Hot Toys Artisan Scarlet Witch. And this is where I enter the chat. I received my Artisan Scarlet Witch and I noticed something funny on top of the head. Glue. Glue is what that mysterious substance was. So I emailed Sideshow and their amazing customer service team sent me a replacement, and lo and behold, it also had glue staining on the head sculpt. It was at this point that I decided to return Scarlet Witch and cut my losses. I ran a poll recently on my channel and I asked collectors whether they believe the Hot Toys Artisan line is worth the premium asking price. A staggering 84% of collectors said no, with many collectors arguing that Artisan Hot Toys are, by their estimation, not all that premium. With 18 Artisan Hot Toys announced so far, the average retail price is sitting at about $443.61 before shipping and tax, so very close to $500 a figure by the time it arrives at your door. When there are high quality options out there from companies like NR Collectibles that are at or around or even below that $443 price tag, collectors have started to turn their back on the Artisan line, despite the fact that Hot Toys has access to premium characters from Star Wars and Marvel that companies like NR do not. You also have J&D Studios, which is a newcomer in the 1/6 scale game, that are charging very premium prices for their figures, but nowadays probably a couple $100 more than an Artisan figure, and their figures look to be some premium quality. To be fair, J&D has only released one figure thus far, but it is a banger. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm never going to purchase another Hot Toys Artisan figure, because that's most likely not true. I am a fan of the potential of the line. I want to support Hot Toys in their endeavors to create a premium collectible line that is going to entice collectors who want something a little bit more premium and high-end and exclusive in their collection. I think that's great, but these figures do in fact have to be premium. Issues like glue staining on the head sculpts, use of pleather and other cheap components to build these figures out, and cheap display bases and minimal accessories make this overall packaging and unboxing experience make it feel like it's not so much premium as much as it should be, which is again kind of starkly contrasting to what the line is designed to be. I have a few Artisan figures on pre-order and I'm not canceling them because I do genuinely want them in my collection. In fact, I even have 2 Artisan Hot Toys in my collection right now, Jack Sparrow and the Darkseid Anakin, and they're amongst my favorite figures in my entire collection. So I'm definitely not abandoning the line entirely. We as collectors need to start demanding more from Hot Toys from their Artisan line, because these are designed to be premium figures and the collector is not always receiving a premium product at their door. These figures are selling out, sometimes very quickly, but they're selling out less quickly with each subsequent release, showcasing that collectors are starting to kind of lose their faith in the Artisan line. I have 4 major recommendations for Hot Toys that I believe can help improve the Artisan line dramatically very quickly. The first one being a very simple one. Stop using whatever glue you're using to glue on these hair pieces. Whatever techniques NR Collectibles are using to glue on the hair on their figures, Hot Toys should honestly just copy that. NR Collectibles are having very few quality control issues as a it comes to the actual glue and application of the hair. Every once in a while, the styling could use a little bit of work, but that's something the collector can actually fix in their own home, whereas glue staining is going to be a very difficult problem to solve for most collectors. So whatever cheap glue that Hot Toys is using, please stop doing it because it's causing problems every so often with Artisan releases, which again, these are exclusive figures, and it becomes very frustrating for collectors who paid a premium price and had to fight in line in a queue to even get this figure. The second being to start using more premium materials. Start using things like real leather and die cast and even nylon if you want to, anything but pleather components and other materials that are going to degrade more quickly, because collectors are beginning to catch on that these materials are designed to break down, so the collector will inevitably have to go and buy the next figure in however many years, and Hot Toys will continue to have an influx of cash. Of course, that makes sense from a business perspective, but it does create a little bit of a tense relationship between Hot Toys and the customer, because it feels like you're just trying to rip me off instead of delivering me a product that really is going to satisfy me for a long time to come. The Artisan line should look premium. It should feel premium. It should be premium. And if you have these types of materials and other components in these figures packaging that just aren't premium and don't really fit the mold of an Artisan line, then it's going to frustrate a lot of collectors and make them feel like the value isn't really there compared to what the market offerings are. Yes, Hot Toys has exclusive access to Marvel and Star Wars licenses. So if you want a premium version of a character from those two universes, Hot Toys is very likely to be your only option. But that doesn't mean that Hot Toys should rest on their laurels and just deliver a product that is subpar just because they can and they don't have competition for those characters. It doesn't feel right. My third recommendation is to make the Hot Toys Artisan experience feel more premium. What I'm talking about here is purely aesthetic. I'm talking about packaging. I'm talking about display bases, things like that that can really accentuate the quality of the product and make you feel like you truly have something premium. A premium design display base that you can only get with the Artisan edition. You cannot get it with the standard one, or maybe packaging that is even better than the DX. It has some sort of other components that make it feel very premium and just like a great unboxing experience. I feel like we haven't really got that with a lot of Hot Toys figures lately, and the Artisan line could very easily fill that void and offer something premium as you unbox the figure and set the mood straight away. And my fourth recommendation is that Hot Toys should release a sculpted hair version of every figure that they make an Artisan figure of. It just seems right. Many collectors want to mitigate risks, so if collectors are worried about maybe having glue staining on their Artisan head sculpt or having to do a moderate amount of hairstyling out of the box that they just don't want to deal with, or maybe they just feel like sculpted hair fits their current collection better, or they just like the look of a sculpted hair figure better, there should always be an option available for them. Also, sculpted hair figures are obviously inexpensive compared to premium ones, so they're about $150 less than Artisan figures, and that option should always be available for collectors who don't want to deal with jumping in a queue and fighting others for an exclusive figure and just want the sculpted version that they can be very happy with. Not having a sculpted version of every character seems silly. It seems like Hot Toys is leaving a lot of money on the table, and if you're going to have that option of the Artisan line where there's going to be risk involved, there should be an option for every single figure where you can mitigate those risks and say, hey, sculpted version, much less risk there, probably no glue staining anywhere or anything going on, and if there's an issue, I can always report it to Comic Concepts or Sideshow and I'll be totally fine. Why not? So those are 4 immediate, simple recommendations that I believe will dramatically improve Hot Toys Artisan line offerings pretty quickly, actually. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop your comments down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and make sure to click the notification bell so you're notified when content goes live here. Will.Foxification on Instagram and WillFoxification on TikTok. Make sure to follow me there. Lots of exciting things coming there in the future. And of course, live streams every Friday, 5:15 p.m. Eastern here on this channel, Lights, Camera, Collect. You don't want to miss those. Guys, let me know how your collecting journey is going. Let me know how you're feeling about the Artisan line. Are you still pre-ordering Artisan figures? Do you have any in your collection? How do you feel about it moving forward? I'm starting to lose faith a little bit, although I'm trying to be as optimistic as I can be. I'm not canceling my Artisan pre-orders just yet, but I'm getting a little bit nervous after my experience with this Scarlet Witch. No, shade thrown at Sideshow. They did everything they could to try to help me with this, but still, it ended up being a fail after 2 attempts. Nonetheless, guys, thank you so much for joining. I'm hoping that I feel better here soon, but the sickness is getting me a little bit, but I'm going to get the video out for you guys regardless. Thank you so much. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out. See you later. Bye.